So a youth ed teacher is sharing with the children how important it is to know where God is. And she had been teaching them all morning, and finally she decided, she needed to ask them what they had heard. And so she said, where is God? And a little boy spoke up and he said, oh, I know. I know where God is. God's in the bathroom. And she said, God's in the bathroom? God's in the bathroom? What do you mean God's in the bathroom? And he said, well, every morning, my daddy, he stands outside the bathroom door and he knocks real loud and he says, good Lord, are you still in there? So there you go. We're in the season of celebrating joy. And when you look at joy, it's an acronym. I remind myself of it quite often. It means just open yourself. You were born wide open, willing, ready, much love, all available, and we are the ones that through years, through challenge, through moment, through times, we have allowed ourselves in whatever ways to make decisions to close ourselves down. It's very easy, if you don't stay mindful in your life, to get that real serious look on your face. We have a few here this morning. It's a check-in. It's a moment. You remember when we were kids, we used to sing, I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Where? Where? I got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay. But it was very important. Y'all were really good. Give yourselves a great big hand. It's really important to recognize that the joy we were taught must come first. The joy comes first before you can achieve the peace that passes all understanding. There must be the joy of one's soul to know that this is what life looks like. We're not here on a journey trying to figure out life. This is life, and we're living it. And we are in the midst, and we are in the throes of it right now. In Psalms 92:4, it says very clearly, O Lord, shall I recognize with great praise all your works? Shall I see all of the beauty around me, and shall I celebrate with joy? Wow, how powerful is that? When we think about Rudolph, every one of us can identify with Rudolph because we've had an experience like Rudolph has had. There was a time in life, for many of us, we didn't know how to play the games. We weren't accepted. We were different. And more than likely, most of those people find their ways in Unity or the Centers for Spiritual Living or the Foundation for Better Living, because we thrive and understand the value of how to individuate God by our differences. And it's usually through the fog of our life that we've had some kind of fog, we've had some kind of challenge, we've had some kind of dark night reality that we are called forth and that we are recognized that it is now time to shine. I got so tickled this morning on the way to church because I thought, what better day for Rudolph to have the lights on, because it is foggier than foggy this morning. But that's that part of all of us that we come to recognize that essence of when it is time and that meaning. To really understand the depth of human nature, one must realize the value when a parent is watching their child go around the merry-go-round and they are so engaged and involved that they wave every time. Every time. And every time the child comes back around, the child waves at the parents. That is what this season does for us. We are coming around yet again. We are coming around once again to the merry-go-round, to the joy-go-round, to the, do you recall the beauty and the joy of what life really is and the richness of what's been given And we come around, and do we wave and let it pass by? Or do we grab it? Do we become one of the 1,000 Marys? Do we say, it's my time? I was sent, as we talked about last week, I was sent. And therefore, they will know me by the joy in which I live and move and have our beings. I will not be brought down. Do you recognize that? I will not be brought down. No, I won't. I won't. And I won't become one of those people that's forgotten how to think for myself. When the merry-go comes around, the merry-go-round is here, it's important to recognize that I think for myself. No one else on this planet can tell you how to think. That's why we come here. That's why we crowd these rooms. That's why we believe in what we do, because we do not have leaders that tell us this is what we think, and therefore you have to think like us. We have leaders that tell you the more you can think for yourself, the more we are thrilled for you. Way to go. Way to go. The English reformer William Tyndale said very clearly that people have lost the idea of what gospel really means. There's a definition for gospel that simply means merry, good tidings, joy, celebration, living life, living it full. You know, when we were children, we laughed. See, you hear it? I mean, I couldn't plan that any better. Thank you there for that. Do you know how often children laugh a day? Now that you ask, thanks. 250 to 300 times. Children laugh every day, 250 to 300 times. I don't know about you, I'm not getting mine in. We become serious. We have the tendency, if we don't watch that merry-go-round, we become serious. We close off. We become reserved. We become shielded. An adult, by studies, laughs 15 to 20 times a day. We have work to do. We have energy to give. We have life to express. Charles Fillmore, the founder of our teaching, co-founder, in 1911 wrote, "The value of a metaphysical Christmas. Glory to God in the highest, peace on earth, goodwill to men." But we don't mean anything. If we would all take that as a text for the next year and live by it, we would raise, I believe, the whole standard of thought in the world. If you could only get people to think about what it means. Of course, now we just chatter it off. Glory to God in the highest, peace on earth, goodwill to men. But we don't mean anything. You have to get that down in your subconscious and express it. Glorify God, and you will have peace, and you must have goodwill. Thank you, Charles. When Charlie Brown entered the room, Lucy said to him, "Charlie Brown, Merry Christmas. Goodwill and peace on earth. Charlie Brown, you know, I mean, let's be about love. Let's don't focus on our differences today." And Charlie Brown said, "Lucy, I agree with you, but we don't have to just do it once a year. Why don't we do it all the time?" And Lucy looks at him and says, "Are you some kind of fanatic or what?" I love that. Lao Tzu would tell us, and that's what our mantra here is in First Unity, is awaken yourself, awaken the world. Awaken yourself and awaken the world. He would go on to say that when you see trouble in the world and you see darkness, clear the trouble and the darkness within yourself. Change your filters. Be aware that yes, there are things going on in the world, but the one identified way to shift it more than any is to bring yourself back and bring yourself to the table of understanding, yes? Do you connect with that? You know, I love this time of year because we change car tags here. We don't change seasons. I know you... I know you have to think about that. It's online. You can watch it later. But anyway, where did I go? Okay, I'm back. I love to mention snow because to us it's some foreign object or we have it in design. But I love the story of the woman in Burlington, Vermont, that they have inches and inches of snow, and she's driving along and she can't find her way. So she sees a plow truck and she gets behind it and thinks, I'm surely safe, no problem. So she's following it along, and after a while the truck starts noticing that she's behind him and pretty close. And so he pulls over and he goes back to her and he says, ma'am, where are you going? What are you doing? And she said, well, I'm following you because I was sure that with following you I would get there. And he said, ma'am, you can follow me, but you're not going to get far because I'm sitting here clearing out this parking lot at the mall. Like Rudolph, there comes a time when we all must lead. I talked to my first teacher yesterday. My first teacher I had in ministerial school. They've called in hospice for him. Yes, it's been a year of death this year. And I had this wonderful, rich, and meaningful conversation with him, knowing it's the last conversation we would ever have on this planet in this way. And I loved that he's still teaching me. And he said to me, Temple, I have no regrets. I am comfortable and I know who I am. I know who I am. And I thought, how powerful it is to know that. And to know that you are here. And to be in that energy and to know that you have made a difference in someone's life. You have totally changed their consciousness as my beloved Dr. Bill changed mine. Wow. Life, energy, magnifying the presence. There's a great story of a man who dies and goes to heaven, and an angel is showing him around and giving him the campus tour. And they walk up to a department where they have millions of people working. And the guy says, what is this? And the angel said, well, this is the prayer request department. And they're going through the prayers and looking at what the needs are and everything, and they're divvying them up, etc. And so the angel says, yeah, there's a lot of them go out, and let me show you where they go. So she takes the man and walks him over, and again, just people everywhere that you can see working as hard as they could. And she said, now this is the package and delivery, probably like the modern day Amazon, if you will. This is the package and delivery, and this is where all of these prayers, they're always answered and they're always given out. And then they walk up to another department, and the man says, well, what is this? There were so few people there. And she said, sadly, this is the acknowledgement department. This is the acknowledgement department, and very few people ever acknowledge the gifts that they have received. If you're breathing, if you have a shelter, if you've had food today, if you have a bit of change in your pocket, you're richer than 25% of the people in all the world. And if you are aware that you can think for yourself, you can come to a place like here and serve, understand God, understand the Christ within you, and you have freedom to explore your religious and your theological ideals, and you can change your mind and create a life anytime you decide to, and anytime you choose joy. You are richer than many, many people on the planet. If you have all your fingers and toes, and if you can look at somebody and show the light of God on your face, you are richer than most people that you will ever meet in your life. I urge you, don't let life get in the way by allowing your false belief about life to be in your way. Acknowledge the joy, and you will have more. God bless you. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.